don't even want to see for real. Are we turning the camera to the side? To the side? Or are we keeping the camera straight up today? I think we're keeping it straight up today. Excuse me, I just woke up from a nap. But hello. Nobody's in here yet. But to the person who's watching this, or people who's watching this who's not in the live. Hello. How are you? Good evening. Good morning. Yes. Good day. All that stuff. I'm sorry. I literally just woke up. But I just feel the need to get some of these messages off. These are all downloads that I've gotten from my balcony. Specifically, I call them balcony downloads. So, majority of these downloads happened when I was fasting. So I was getting, they're strong, straight from the source, very potent. So I don't know if Spirit wants me to say all of them or just wants me to focus on just one. But I have a feeling it's going to be this one. This is... Okay, let me just put it down so I don't get too distracted. I took off my glasses. I do not want to see right now. I can see close. I just can't see far. So somebody come here and comment. God bless you, but maybe I can't see it. Anyway. Go ahead, like this comb. We are lifted, we are gifted, y protegidos siempre. Amén, amén, ashe. Okay. That's the mini prayer. If I don't feel like reading some Psalms. This is myrrh. I lit my last dragon's blood cone yesterday or last night. I'll miss her, but yeah, it's alright. Damn, my back. Let me just align. Okay. Put your glasses on, Trendy. Just put your glasses on. I just don't want to wear those ones right now. I had those ones on all day. I went for a walk today. Man, that walk was a little longer than I expected, and it was hot. But I made it back alive. Alright. So I got these downloads on March 5th, 2025 at 10 a.m. So within the hour of 10 a.m. So, yeah. Usually when I'm downloading sometimes, I kind of rush just a little bit. Like, I don't... Like, if I write the time, unless I actually know the specific time, I'll just put the hour, and then I'll make sure to put AM or PM so I can know at least within the hour. So it was within the hour of 10 a.m. So the first one we're gonna go over, I guess, is the first one and only one I highlighted out of all of these, is and I put them all in quotes because they definitely was coming through as messages like I was hearing it. So, the moderator versus the monitor. And I meditated on this for a long time. I even have, let me not say that. But anyway, I meditated on this particular download for a while now because they are two very different distinctive energies. A monitor is like a monitoring spirit. So let me just start looking up actual definitions right now, because I just woke up and I feel like that will be very conducive to this instead of me struggling right now. I'm using my iPad. Yeah. And I'll let you know what website I'm reading from it too, just in case anybody wants to know. Okay, so I'm gonna read it from this one. It's BibleHub.com. So, a monitoring spirit is not a phrase found explicitly in Scripture. Rather, it is a term used in some Christian circles to refer to spiritual entities, most often unclean spirits or demonic forces that seek to watch, gather information, or influence an individual, group, or situation. So that's they're like watchers, lurkers, you know. I wonder if monitoring spirits and the evil eye are like cousins in a sense. Because you'd have to have a heavy monitoring spirit, and then I feel like you'd have to have a heavy monitoring spirit to heavily activate an evil eye. Because it's all unconscious in a sense, if you're not conscious of it, because these are spirits we're dealing with. Anyway, that's a monitoring spirit. So I wrote the monitor versus the moderator. When I think of a moderator, when you go on these YouTube channels or these lives, there's the person who was in charge of the live, the person who was in the live puts another person who was a viewer as the moderator. So I feel like that person... Okay, let me just... Girl, you was tired. You just woke up. Let me just... Look it up. Look it up. Like, make your work smarter, not harder. What they say? Yeah. All that time. Yeah, so a moderator is a person who moderates an internet forum or an online discussion. I feel like those were paired together because they both kind of watch the target, but for two separate reasons. So you and your energy and your spirit team, God and whomever, you have to be able to decipher whether you're dealing with a monitoring spirit or actual moderators, because not everybody who is watching you is an opera. Not everybody who is watching you is a monitoring spirit. Not everybody who is watching you has ill intent. Not even people who are watching you that are silent watchers are monitoring spirits per se. And sometimes when we get in our ego, or when we get into a space where we're really paranoid because of our past, we can definitely project that those feelings of paranoia onto that target itself. Like, oh, they're monitoring, they have a monitoring spirit. Whole T, they're clapping silently for you. They just maybe they're not that active on social media, or maybe just not the time for them to say something. Because, I don't know. There could be so many reasons as to why you didn't get your quote-unquote flowers yet from certain people or from the world. But we should not be waiting on flowers from the world anyway, because our validation should be coming from ourselves and God. I think we're good on the moderator versus the monitor. I think I explained it well. Hopefully, if you feel like I could have done a good job, critiques are always welcome in the comment section. Be nice. Be kind, actually. Let me stop saying be nice. Be kind. All right. Dang, where are we at? I really should have grabbed me some water. But I didn't do that. Anyway, I'm just chilling, bro. Ain't nobody in here. This is the first time I'm just like, yo. Okay, the next one Spirit wants me to read is cruise ship versus spaceship. Cruise ship versus spaceship. Cruise ship versus spaceship. So I feel like they gave me that one because they're on two different what what do I call it? Lands, I guess. Because a cruise ship, you're dealing with water. Spaceship, you're dealing with the sky up. So they're two different things. Water isn't necessarily the lowest part you can go though, because the lowest lands are the floor, the ground, the dirt. So like, so I feel like, wait, where am I going? Reel it back in. Cause I was about to go real deep for no reason. Let me hold on. Pick your vehicle. Choose your vehicle for this season. If you don't want to choose, I mean, you could use both because, everything's happening simultaneously anyway, past, present, and future. So if you just so happen to end up in another vehicle to go to your destination in another season, that's one thing. But if you stay in this present moment, choose a vehicle. You're either on a cruise ship or a boat or an ark, whatever, or you're in a spaceship or a plane or whatever. You're either in the sky or you're in the water. I would say a car or a bus will be. I'm not on the earth element right now. I'm getting a lot of air and water right now. Because those are just two energies that kind of that can move you. I'm not saying earth energy can't move you, but the water and the ocean is controlled by the moon tides, so they have their own waves. So even if you weren't necessarily sailing a ship, you could possibly still move, or even the animals that are in the water could move you, In the sky, you have to fly it, I guess, but if you're an animal, like, with wings, it's a whole different thing, okay? Just, again, I'm making it very difficult right now, but pick a vehicle and stick with that vehicle for a little bit. Understand that vehicle and try to master that vehicle. So what I'm saying is try to master that element. So I would say pick an element for the week. I'm more so focusing right now probably on air and water. But hey, it can be any other elements if you feel like you need to. But I'm just getting heavy air and water. Pick an element and allow it to move you through the times, move you through your healing process, move you through the challenges. Also, you're supposed to be learning from the elements. We're supposed to, when we finally graduate from these levels, we're supposed to be all things, because God is in all things. So our goals are to really master these elements so that we can continue to have on earth as it is in heaven. Completely, though, But on this earth realm, we're never done like learning or anything. It's always gonna be, I mean, there are. You could just stop doing your jobs and spiritual jobs and all this stuff like that, but to each his own. I feel like I explained that well. If not, I will probably go back and edit this just a little bit and voiceover some more thought forms into what I just said, because I know I just woke up, so I'm there, but I'm there, I'm here, but all right, let me just check them off. I actually wrote this down. The date is right here, okay? This is not fake. Again, March 5th is the day, like I said, is the day that, smoke. March 5th is the day that I got these downloads. So March 5th, 2025 actually might be significant for someone who's watching this. So if you have archives or anything, maybe like videos or even like notes or anything that you maybe had recorded or journaled or anything on March 5th, 2025, I will go back and review it. It was a Wednesday, by the way. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm still trying to remember all the days and what they correspond with. If I'm not mistaken, Wednesdays represent Mercury, which represents communication. So yeah. All right, I think I'm only going to do one or two more because there is a lot more on here, but I don't think I'm supposed to read them all. So this is supposed to be a quick little jump, and I'm supposed to dip. Washed up to shore. That's the next one. Washed up to shore. So you know how somebody can, like, let's say, get into a terrible, I don't know why it says so negative, but that's not really negative, I guess. A storm happens in the ocean. So say you picked the ocean, you picked cruise ship. All right, cool. But you were in the ocean and there was a storm, a very, very heavy storm. And the storm got so reckless to the point where the tides were huge. And maybe you weren't actually on a cruise ship. Maybe you were on a boat. Maybe you were on a sailboat. Maybe you were on a canoe. Whatever form of water vehicle you were on. And you and whomever, or if you were just by yourself, you fell off of this vehicle or you fell off of this boat. Because obviously it's a storm, it can happen. Your boat can tip over, whatever. And you know how in the movies, usually when some type of crash happens or storm happens in the water with these boats and stuff, usually it blacks out and then the next morning everyone's kind of washed ashore. That's the energy I'm getting from this. So I guess, oh gosh, if you guys can see how this is going right now, let's go see. I guess Spirit's trying to say that there was a moment in time where they kind of shut your blinders off. They should kind of shut your eyes off, like to protect you from a certain type of trauma you could have endured from a very traumatic experience, if that makes sense. Like, you obviously endured trauma in that experience, but you also could have endured way more if Spirit did not protect your vessel or kind of shield you from certain things. So, like, you know how, like, when we're kids and we witness something traumatic and we end up doing certain things to cope or something like that. It's almost like that in a sense. So Spirit definitely was probably protecting you during a very traumatic experience at a certain point in your life. So you probably experienced it. It probably was bad, but just know that if Spirit still was protecting you in that moment. You're still alive. So, yeah. And this, again, the quote was washed up to shore. So when you get washed up to shore, you remember, but you don't really remember. You just wake up kind of dazed and thankful that you're even alive because all you know is you were on a freaking boat. You were on a boat. I hope you're having a good day, night. I gotta go back and make this money. I just want to pop in. Aw, thank you. Go ahead and make that money. Yes. Get your bag. Period. You love the money you're making, Quinn. All right. Thank you for popping in my life. You just gave me some really good energy. I needed that. I'm tired. But yeah, I think that is all I'm going to do. Just those 3 quotes. I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube, but I decided not to flip this one because this one's feeling like a shorter one. These are just quick little divine pulls or glow pulls. Yeah, but I love you guys a lot. Yeah, and I was about to say Merry Christmas, girl. It is not Christmas. It's not Christmas. Not the sirens. Okay, I gotta go. God bless. God bless America if you hear them. Yeah.